strange, weird numbers.
That's weird.
Sorry, everyone. You heard everything I didn't want you to hear and nothing that I did want you to hear. But that's how it goes sometimes here at Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Welcome to another episode. I hope y'all are excited to be with us. We got a pretty exciting topic to talk about. And it doesn't seem so science fiction now, like as the progress is being made. But as always, we'll get to that after we say hello to all those that are on the panel. So let's go ahead and do that. First up, it looks like we got Robert back with us. Good to see you, brother. Shalom now. Good to see you.
Shalom, yes, we got a couple more weeks.
Wait, one second. They can't hear you. It did the same thing to y'all's side, I bet. Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that so weird? Okay, there we go. You should be good to go
It's
now.
like a government address.
So, hey, I was just saying, Shalom. We got a couple more weeks or so before we got the spring forward and start getting closer to where sundown's like 9. So, but still just Shalom at this time. So, hope everyone's doing okay today. Having had a good Shabbat today. No, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we actually had a really good Shabbat. We started a local, us and a few other families started like a local fellowship, and we kind of did our first. And it's small right now, and hopefully it grows, and it's definitely enjoyable with who's there now. So it'll get better for sure. And Tyler Porter may be able to come out to some of them when they're maybe closer to our side than theirs, the Rosa side. But yeah, it was awesome. Great food, great fellowship. We were talking about evening and morning versus evening to morning, and that the whole calendar and how we should look at it. And it was of course there was disagreements, but it was a very fellowshiply conversation. So
For sure.
Sweet. Well, good to have you, Robert. Hope you're excited to talk about. Oh, I didn't ever change. Look at me. Failing. No, not that. It's this. I'm changing the titles, and I am not going to remember that by. Just grab it like this. Fix that. And let's move.
I made a comment on Matthew Jansen's Facebook post that it was a lot easier back when the day started when I woke up and it ended when I went to bed.
Yeah, it definitely was easier like that. But then again, I didn't have like strict guidelines on which I would do anything. It was just I really could get stuck where every day would be doing something, or I could go many days not doing anything. And nowadays, I feel like I should work roughly 6 days a week or equivalent to something like that, and rest on at least one day.
Yeah.
A whole day.
Yeah, not just depending on whether it's winter or summer or spring or fall. But we digress. But yeah, it was a lively conversation, but it was good. Yeah, let's jump over to Frankie B, brother. How have you been? Good to see you. Shalom.
Hey everyone. Shalom. Hope all is well. Lifting up Marsha in prayer, and just looking forward to hanging out with everybody.
Ditto, brother. Always excited to have you. Always excited to have you here, and definitely prayers for Marsha. She's going through a pretty rough physical patch right now, and anytime we hit that physical patch of distress, that usually coincides with some spiritual distress as well. And so pray for her both in body and spirit. And I look forward to the day when she's able to join us back here and give her I don't knows and her wonderful insights, from her perspective, because we definitely love it.
I don't know.
But that goes out to you, Marcia. I don't know. But yeah, I know she's with us here in spirit and support, and so we love her. Well, sweet. Okay, so the topic for today is autonomous logistics. And so, kind of within a smart city, an aspect that you would kind of need for that would be some type of an intelligent logistics. And, looking at our modern time, right? And kind of, let's say we're this quantum leap forward in technology. A smart city, you would think, you would need a smart logistic system, right, to get all of the food and minerals and resources that it would need to do whatever that smart city, was designed to do. So that being the case, and looking at our current modern, right, like 5 years ago, we'd be like, well, yeah, no way. But they do make some pretty big leaps, right? And we're going to look at videos today of whole warehouses that have 10 people in it, but move as much product as, a fully staffed warehouse, a large warehouse. And so, and in so many ways, to the smart homes, to the smart, all these different systems they're doing, and a portion of that they're using autonomy and different forms of autonomy. And so that's kind of our focus today. And if you kind of noticed the trending theme, maybe weren't here last week, but it had all these airships that were floating across, right? And look at this pristine wilderness that we get, because we get to get rid of all the roads and all the things. We can just have these flying machines that are so much more efficient and friendly to the earth, and the greatness that will come from getting rid of the roads and the pavement and the freedom to travel, on the ground. Now you're going to travel by the air, which is even greater, right? And so part of that, kind of that system is taking the human element out of it. And whether it be logistics in the sense of transporting materials from point A to point B, or the logistics of getting a hamburger into your hands at a fast food restaurant. Don't go to fast food restaurants. But like if all of those different systems we're going to look at tonight, and basically show how that technology is very much here, and how quickly it could be implemented. Kind of, we could see definitely, like with Trump, right? And him all. We're going to watch a video of Trump actually talking about it, specifically to this air mobility. But yeah, it's we got a lot of gravy to watch tonight. Y'all have any thoughts about it before we get into the videos, of maybe what you looked into it, if you found anything, and kind of your thoughts about the topic as itself?
Well, I have some thoughts. When we put a picking system in our company, and they told one of the managers said that they were going to lay off half of the workforce, which never happened, and we lost a lot of good employees because of that. But and we're still hiring. Every 2 weeks we bring another batch of guys in. But it's made the job so much easier, more safer. It's made the job easier. It's funny because I got tenure in the company, and we laugh at the new guys complaining because they act like they got it so hard, but they have no idea what we went through. Picking on walkie riders, picking on forklifts, wrapping our own pallets, loading our own trucks, loading side load, loading all kinds of different trucks, different style of trucks. And it was fast paced. It was crazy. It was kind of dangerous. But, I told one of the guys, I said, you got to be semi-retarded to work here because just the mental aspect of working at night and the long hours. You would get mandatory your whole shift for 12 hours. You just had to. You didn't. You had to be semi-retarded just to make it. You know what I mean? And but now it's so much easier. It's a calmer workplace. It's a more enjoyable place to come. Uh, Management has went out of their way to make it more employee friendly. Uh, and the automated system has helped with that. It's made it so much easier. You know, I'm thankful for it.
No, and I definitely think there's aspects of it being positive, and there's nothing that's going to be, like what, I'm going to kind of use this as kind of a tangent, but like even the evil one appears as an angel of light, right? So it's like
Right.
they're always going to provide some convenience, some, you know, necessity, like I'll give you an example, like in cloning, right? It always starts with children. It's always like, well, let's children, the all for the men and the women who've lost their children, let's be able to clone them back and give them their child back. And so or their loved one or whatever it is. And so, like, the aspect of that is like, yeah, that's sad that they lost their child. They should be able to raise their child to an adult, So they always sneak in that way where it's this, or like the Neuralink, right? It's for the people who are, war wounded, right? That can't walk anymore or they can't see. Look, we can put this thing in their brain and now all of a sudden they can walk. Now all of a sudden they can see. And it has this great, implications. But on the other side of it, it's like what that actually is going to do to civilization and society as a whole. And it never stops right there, right? It's never like, oh, we're just putting the chip in there, just period, point blank. The law is you can only do it to people who've lost sight, or you know what I mean. They're going to extend it to where, like, well, why not just update your eyes to a, an upgraded.
And that, in fact, seems how most technologies are pushed on the masses, is that they'll make them appealable to them, but they know the entire spectrum that technology covers. So it always starts as something that the masses will look at and desire, but it always turns into something that is there to control them.
Yep. And I think about like Terminator, right? Skynet was to protect them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, we're spending all this money, putting all of this information and technology to this artificial thing that decides, well, humans are the threat, right? So it's like another one of those kind of ideas. What are your thoughts there, Robert?
Well, I was talking to Frankie before we got on here. 40 years ago, at least 40, when I was making deliveries over at University of Michigan Hospital, down in the basement they had robot carts that would pull these supply carts throughout the basement, and they would just follow a track, a wire track that was in the ground and in the concrete on the floor, and so you'd be moving around, you hear the thing beep 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 beep, and they'll go around distribute these carts throughout the basement of the hospital, where then someone would come and grab that cart and move it about. That's like I said, that's like 1985, 86. Right now with our, I can't imagine too much with my work right now with the trucks and whatnot. But I guess if the truck was autonomous and delivering, and the driver would just hang on for the ride, and once it got it, then he can make his deliveries, and might be able to help out on DOT regulations as far as hours worked. We always struggle with that, trying to maintain hours. So there's, like you said, there's like good things that could be part of it, but can't hear you.
Like think about like the factories and things that they're able to do, but then just amplify that up to where they have like a 10 mile circle where they have this smart city. They could totally have it, these floating airships come, dock in, release their stuff, turn around, go right back, right? Where you don't even need a person. And when it goes and it ports, to get its unloading, the systems are running a full checkup, like the fuel levels, like if any warnings or things are going out. It puts it on a different track that takes it to a department where there's 10 dudes in the whole city that are making sure that these things are working, and then there's 10 dudes in another part of the city that are making sure those things are working. And I think like they could easily do that with a lot of things like cooking, right? Like what do you want when you go to a restaurant? You want a consistent thing. So when you order a Big Mac in France and you order a Big Mac in Kansas City, like they taste the same, right? Like you want that consistency. Well, what better to do that than a robot, right? To cook it perfectly, to put the exact amount, and then, profit rise, right? Like there's no human to drop too much lettuce or too many chicken McNuggets, right? Like it is a precise calculated thing that takes the human error out of a lot of the money losing parts of a business and puts that money into right back into the owner's hands, right? Because they're not having to pay a human living wage. They're just having to pay one person to operate the entire McDonald's now to make sure all the machines are running. One person or people as opposed to 30 or whatever it is. And so I think that will start affecting our lives. And again, right? Like there's a benefit to that, to always having if you're a McDonald's type of person and you eat the Big Macs, having a consistent robot to make your food perfectly every time and it tastes good every time to you is way better than those times where you get that burger where it's not cooked all the way, it's soggy, it's dry.
Plus, coming from like a customer service aspect these days, so many people are in this generation are kind of they're indoorsy. They stay inside and they want to stay inside, and they don't like confrontation and encounters, and they don't want to have to go and see anybody to get their food. They just want to like they can go pick it up, or it can just be delivered to them. They don't want to have to deal with anybody, and you wouldn't in this situation. You would just basically put in your chip or your money or whatever, and then go up to the front, and there would be you never have to. Maybe an automated system would thank you for your your service or whatever, but at the same time, people will fall for that because it's convenient in our very unsocialized modern day society for some reason.
Yeah.
With the smart cities and all, they can control what we eat when you're living in that city. They could limit the varieties of foods, and they could get in their meatless burgers, all the things that they've been desiring to feed us with. That's a scary kind of thought, because you might not have all the choices, and they could make the real food so expensive that the common person living in that smart city wouldn't be able to afford it. You know what I mean?
We're already kind of like that, aren't we? Right? Where the food that's good for you is expensive, and the food that's crap is easily accessible.
Actually, there's a place right up the street, Smash Bros. They make smash burgers, and it's better than McDonald's. It's almost as good as Five Guys, and it's real meat. and it's something that I can get easily, and I can afford it. And we have a Texas Roadhouse, which is a good steak dinner that is affordable. It's under $100 for two people. Uh, I mean, we have a lot of choices living it the way we're living now. But we go into them smart cities, they can limit your choices, and they can make real food so expensive that you're going to have to buy the GMO BS food that they want you eating. You know what I mean? Their bug food, their this, their all their GMO foods.
Yeah, well, I think they'll
And
always
then
do
that
the bait.
promotes laziness too, because everything will be delivered to you.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I think there definitely will do like a bait and switch. And what I mean by that is like it's going to be like a grand opening for like a corporate grocery store where their prices are so low that it really hurts all the business around them, and they have that grand opening feel. And as soon as they cut out the competition, that whole attitude switches, and it's now like we're going to extort you and hurt, like, exploit you as much as we possibly can because you have no other option. And so specifically how this, I think the smart cities are going to be like, they're going to be like these utopias. Like they're going to start out as like, no, we have the freshest food. It's all made right here and now. Like it's going to be cheap and accessible for everyone. And then when the people get dependent on that system, they could do like a tyrannical hard swap where they say, nope, sorry, sucks to be you. You can't get out of the city. Or they could do like a slow burn where they just slowly reduce the quality of the ingredients and add in those type of things, more cloak and dagger mindset.
well, that's what they did with Walmart. Walmart drove out all the small businesses, and now their food is crappy. And their food is their goods are like the cheapest you can find. Their fruit's no good. Their meat's no good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they
No.
drove all the small businesses out of business.
I feel like the creation of these cities will also make like a imbalance in society where like some people will like yearn to want to afford to be a part of it, and there's like possibly going to be, those could turn, I think you said, into like small nations, like
like city states.
But it'd be like tyrannical to where the people outside of those things would be left desolate, but while inside, if you were in the upper
like you
echelon,
have the protection of the law in the upper echelon, whereas if you're not in the city, like you're basically a rabbit,
right,
or a coyote that anyone can get killed because it's vermin.
Like they're gonna they're gonna have to force people into those cities, into those tight spaces, if they don't voluntarily want to go. They're gonna want to convince you if you don't want to go on your own.
Yeah.
And so this may be one of the ways.
Yeah. All right, so let's share some videos. Take some time to do that because we got tons of them. And pull this big. And I don't remember. Is this one you? I think this is one Robert shared. Yeah. So let's watch a few of these videos and see what they got to show. What was that?
I was just saying, I was doing that like a double speed. I kind of pumped it ahead a little bit to catch a few pieces and parts of that.
It's like 20 minutes long. It's
Oh, okay. Where do you think I should jump it to?
double speed.
Oh, double speed. I heard you. Okay, that makes sense. Where do you see the humans in this? Like, I haven't seen a human one time. Oh, look, there.
There eventually is
Can you imagine the injuries that these machines have seen?
No, and I totally get the benefit. Like, there's so many, like, you can produce more, it's more efficient. Like,
Yeah. Definitely.
all right,
Yeah,
so.
our facility, we've cut the injuries down by 70% just by adding that automated machine.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying there's no benefit to it, but it's definitely, like, way less people are
If you want to
working.
know how automation, AI,
Let's-
and people
let's
are
check this
working
one out.
together, you can see it inside this 3 million square foot building where Amazon employs more than 1,400 people and stores up to 40 million products. Amazon says it logged its biggest Thanksgiving holiday shopping period ever this year, and data shows consumers spent a record $10.8 billion online on Black Friday alone, 10% more than last year, making this kind of efficiency the future.
I'm here in Shreveport, Louisiana, inside Amazon's fulfillment center that just opened a couple of months ago. This is the first time national media has been inside. With me now is Chief Technologist Ty Brady. Ty, what is happening here that's not happening anywhere else in the world?
Here we have 10 times the amount of robotics as compared to any of our other fulfillment centers. we can process your order 25% faster and offer 25% lower cost to serve, which means that we can pass along that low cost to our customers.
We first took you inside the Boston lab where these systems were being tested. This holiday, thousands of these robots are now fully operational, including Sparrow, Cardinal, Sequoia, Robin, and Proteus. It's possible because here everything is containerized. Instead of humans walking miles a day to get products off the shelves, the items are put into blue and yellow bins that robots can easily maneuver.
We don't want people to lift heavy objects. We don't want people to take boxes and put it over their head or reach down really low. If we can have a robotic system do that for our employees, all the better.
The injury rate at Amazon is higher than those at other comparable warehouses, according to a report by the National Employment Law Project. But the company says technology like this has helped make substantial
from your
improvements
side,
to
Robert.
safety. In March, Amazon announced its reportable incident rate last year was 6.5 cases per 100 workers, down from 6.9 cases in 2022. Here, Sparrow is taking on a repetitive motion job. Amazon says having robots do this work is part of its pledge to reduce injuries.
So in other warehouses that don't have Sparrow, people are doing this job.
People can do this job, but this is a menial, mundane, repetitive job. We'd rather have our people do other things inside of our building.
Through Amazon's upskilling program, people who used to do manual labor jobs are now moving into jobs overseeing, repairing, and programming these machines. Amazon says these roles can offer pay that's up to 40% higher than entry-level jobs. Once the items are sorted, they head here to Sequoia, where humans and robots work together.
The goods are coming to the person on demand at just the right time, and we designed the system in order to be ergonomic for our people, right?
Yeah. So he's not bending down, he's not reaching
Exactly.
up.
There's no ladders to reach up. He's not bending down on his knees, right? It's in the Goldilocks zone or the power zone.
Brady says the best packaging is no packaging. He says Amazon's eliminated more than 130 million.
So, like, that whole thing that it just said right there, it said we're trying to eliminate them moving up and down and making human movements. They're saying, and best believe they have cameras watching their movements and are then using that data and that analytics to build machines that can do what the humans are doing. That's what all the rest of this is just them like refining it. Yeah, the human movements to then produce that repetitively.
Right. Makes sense.
It's literally, it's like right in front of our face. Now, Frankie B, I agree. There are benefits to this because it's people aren't, their back isn't going out at 50. They're, they're not getting squished between the machines. Machines aren't, heavy objects aren't falling on them. Like, I totally agree with all that stuff, but you definitely can see, right, that they're moving closer and closer towards the only humans that are going to be there are to fix the machines. Universal basic income. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Until you're told what you can and can't do.
They don't really care about, they don't want to pay the insurances, they don't want to pay all the extras, they just want to get the product out. And they really don't need us, they don't want us. It shows in the way that society's going, they don't value human beings. It's sad.
Yeah, like literally look at their jobs here. Like, I'm not making fun of them in any type of way. I'm just saying, like, how unfulfilling to just literally be the arm that does this. You know what I mean? Like, how much thought and mind energy and body and soul are being put into this? You know what I mean? None. It's so soulless. And it has to be the smart system, to be this autonomous logistics. It needs to be soulless. And that's obviously working towards something. So, yeah.
Apparently we couldn't hear Frankie.
Oh. Say what you were saying again, Frankie.
500 million people. Part of their 10 Commandments, reducing the population to 500 million people. With all these automated machines, they won't need billions and billions of people. You know? I think you muted, Vader.
Yeah, that's a pretty good tangent, and I think let's talk about that real quick. So President Trump, right, is right now with the whole Doge thing, which, don't get me wrong, yeah, we should be reducing spending for all these insane things. Like, I'm not against that. But the whole Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge, is literally one of the commandments on the Georgia Guidestones to eliminate useless officials, petty officials, and useless
judges.
It's
petty judges or
petty
useless officials.
Yeah.
Useless government institutes.
Yeah, so that kind of goes right along with what he's doing there, and it's obviously a good thing from our perspective, but obviously we don't know how deep that track goes.
Yeah,
but
because that could mean the elimination of morality in all, because the entire definition of what they consider law and order changes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to play this really quick before we keep going, because I think this is really important. This part right here. So this is Trump's. This is to improve quality of life in the U.S. He said some other stuff before this, but we're gonna listen to this part. Oops.
Another big.
Okay, here we go.
Big opportunity is in transportation. Dozens of major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure.
I'm going to change something real quick. Give me a second. This is going to help us.
Mm-hmm. So you put the output.
Yeah.
So we can hear it.
Yeah. I think it was this one. And that will stop messing where I don't have to keep muting them and unmuting them.
That America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility. These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families in our automotive revolution. And the United States led individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility. These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families in our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living, with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home. And they will be beautiful homes.
I'm going to skip back real quick.
For families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century,
I want to put these captions on, so.
I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility.
Air mobility. What is it? So, like the automobile industrial revolution, he wants America, not China, to lead the revolution in air mobility.
Right.
What's that talking about?
Yeah, it's going to be exactly. It says ships above us of some kind. They're going to want everyone to start making.
You're going to need a pass to go on that.
And he's not talking about Boeing
Yeah.
He's
No.
not. And he's not.
He's not talking about commercial airlines as they exist.
Yeah, he's not talking even about airplanes.
Airplanes, yeah.
In general.
Whole new thing.
This is something different, I believe.
These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families and our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big.
I'm going to skip it. There's one other thing I want to show real quick.
And there will be bonuses.
Not that. Oh.
Refurbishing our parks and ensuring a pristine environment and building towering monuments to our true American heroes.
No, it's back here. Sorry.
A new shot at home ownership.
Almost
cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, to 10 new cities and award them to government with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 0.5%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities.
Okay, I don't remember where he says it, but he basically says with the quantum leaps in technology, we're going to be able to build these new cities. So, with these new cities and connecting people in new ways and, prosperity, a golden age like America has never known.
I think he says it in my other link.
Oh, okay.
So we'll run into it again.
Sweet. So
yeah, he's talking about smart cities.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that he wants to manufacture over here. I'm tired of getting everything off of China. I mean, if we can manufacture it cheaper.
I totally agree. I think there are benefits to it.
And that'll create more jobs too.
Yeah, no, I know. Like there's going to be positives.
Even if they're robotic, it'll still create more jobs. You know what I mean? If we're manufacturing everything we need here and then shipping it out to other countries.
Yeah, like I said, bro, there's definitely positives to it, but this is the slow boil in my opinion. But let's check out some more of these examples. This is only 44 seconds.
It's about more than dinner time. It's more than diapers and more than vaccines. It's about reinventing delivery for good.
People we want to kill.
Faster speeds, fewer emissions.
AIDS for you.
Whisper quiet. But this is so much more than a drone company. This is autonomous logistics for everyone, everywhere.
The best delivery experience not on Earth. That's kind of a weird tagline.
Well,
I don't even get it.
They talk about emissions and this and that. When I was driving home Friday night from work, there was 4 factories blowing out all kinds of toxic. I had to close my window. It was. I could smell it. You know what I mean?
How will the future of
But they want to take away our cows and they want to reduce humans so we don't pollute the air. When they got all these factories that are polluting everything.
Oh yeah, they pollute and blame it on us 100%.
yeah, and cows.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. All right, let's watch this video.
logistics and autonomous vehicles shape? How will the future of logistics and autonomous vehicles shape the global economy? That's the question we're diving into today. As we speak, a quiet revolution is unfolding in the realm of logistics. Autonomous vehicles are increasingly becoming a reality in our ports, factories, and airports, setting the stage for a transformation in the global supply chain. Join us as we delve into the revolution led by Venti Technologies, a global leader in autonomous logistics. Our focus today is on Venti Technologies, a trailblazer in autonomous logistics. With roots in Singapore and Boston, Massachusetts, Venti was born in 2018, the brainchild of a dynamic team led by CEO Dr. Heidi Weil and other luminaries from MIT. Venti's mission is clear and compelling: to redefine autonomous logistics for the global supply chain and industrial hubs. Their innovation lies in using artificial intelligence to move goods, not people. Venti's work isn't just about transportation. It's about revolutionizing the backbone of the global supply chain. The global heavy-duty autonomous vehicle market is projected to soar to a staggering $1.45 trillion by 2032. This incredible growth signifies a logistics industry on the brink of revolution. Autonomous vehicles promise to streamline operations, heightening efficiency and safety. Moreover, they bring forth sustainable solutions, reducing carbon footprints and paving the way for a greener future. These advancements are about shaping a future that can move goods more efficiently, safely, and sustainably across the globe. As we wrap up today's journey, let's ponder the future of logistics and the promise of autonomous technologies. This evolution is captivating, and we hope you're as intrigued as we are. If you want to stay updated on this exciting journey, we invite you to like, follow, and support our channel. Your involvement is vital in bringing
this video is literally made with
to the
AI.
forefront. Until next time, keep an eye on the horizon and stay ahead.
I'm not saying
of
this.
the wave.
The image
This
is. Yeah, I'm talking about the sound.
From Pace of the Waterfront.
The whole like video, they put it into an AI and like show us pictures of this and this and this. Yeah, but still, very much true information. Let's jump back over here real quick. Oh,
My name is Urs Hassler. I am the site
Okay, stop it. So we already kind of saw some of this. I'm gonna kind of skip through it a little bit. That's insane.
Like what brain can do that?
Yeah.
What human mind could facilitate the organization and transfer of all these packages, labeling and everything else without, it being totally clustered? I guess.
Yeah.
It's like they know that in order to keep a massive population in an area, they have to use these machines to even keep up with it.
To provide for that number.
Yeah, because there wouldn't be enough space
people,
or there even could be enough people, but there's still not enough space to be doing what that amount of people would need to do, not to mention the cost of all the machines and everything.
Yep, and the housing of that amount of people, like depending obviously on the times or whatever, if the people literally live in the same building just up, 10 stories,
right,
then boom, they're already there, right? Like, and yeah, I think it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. Your delivery is delayed. We had a drone accident. Your delivery will be processed. We had a drone accident. Sorry, sir. We'll try to get your delivery out as soon as possible.
And that will be an AI voice.
Yeah. It drops you.
Yeah, right. No, it'll be my voice.
The location of the last known location of of the drone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're deleted. You're muted. It's muted.
Robots versus humans. When eating out, how would you like your order taken?
All kinds of companies are trying to come up with ways to keep their margins high while costs go higher, but the creative changes were too much for one Tierra Santa man on his last McDonald's trip. CBS 8's Jenny Day explains.
Are you kidding me? You can't use cash in a McDonald's?
Human-to-human interaction, somewhat of a thing of the past if you're craving a Big Mac and fries.
I don't want to call it a rant because it was like that long.
So we won't call it a rant, but Daniel Miley did share his fast food frustrations online.
I posted it on Nextdoor and it got like 21,000 views in 48 hours.
Miley says he rarely even eats fast food, but he and his wife give in to the grandkids sometimes. And when they went to the McDonald's in Tierra Santa, he says there was no one to take their order, only a kiosk.
She had trouble navigating the kiosk. This is a woman with a bachelor's degree in microbiology.
Ordering, he says, was problem one. Then came time to pay. The Mileys had a gift card for $25 that his wife had just won at work, but their total was a little more.
Came up to 26 and change, whatever it was. She stuck the card in there, and there was no way to pay the balance in cash. She had to use her debit card for $1.
Of course, actual humans do still work there, but hundreds of people commiserated about the technology online, while others said times have changed.
And I've had responses on the Nextdoor app for everything from, oh, you're stuck in the 60s to, the global cash society.
Many point to rising minimum wage, now at $16.65 in San Diego. Pablo writing, robots can't call in sick, robots don't need health care. Cheryl from El Cajon agrees, writing their old model of split.
They don't need vacations. They don't need... They can literally just be a number. Mm-hmm. You don't need a name. They don't need to need names. They don't
no
need
vacations, no sick time, no holidays.
No tissue papers, no toilet paper, no water bill. Heck, you could turn all the lights off.
They don't even have rights.
Well, they don't even need lights.
They don't even have rights, and they don't need lights.
Yeah, we're throwing some bars over here, unintentionally. But yeah, like it's just, and like what we were saying, like right here, look at this guy, right? They've already kind of set it up in this conveyor belt.
The technology online, while others said times have changed.
And they could re-engineer how that system works. It could fall out. It could, like. They could definitely come up with a machine to get rid of the people.
All they need is one person there who would be basically the guy who would repair anything or keep everything greased and working accordingly. And if something fails, he cleans the mess and fixes it and continues the service. But it doesn't ever have to come to a stop. It can be a 24-hour thing. You'd never have to be worried about robberies or anything like that.
Well, dude, and even
you don't need supervisors. You only need one manager. Run the whole thing.
Exactly. You need like maybe a cleaner and two robot guys, right?
And
a night
like
shift, a day shift.
If the robots could clean too, they could literally.
Eventually, they'll get it there, right?
Well, they already have that, and I believe in a sense where it's just. We're at this point now where anything can be re-engineered that a human does almost to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I think there are lots of
more spiritual things connected.
I just think there are certain things like in like trades that the machines cannot do yet, but in time they'll be able to do it.
And I think that's why they're going with a humanoid shape, why they have that desire, because there's a lot of articulation and little things that we can do.
Well, God created us in a certain convenient way for them to mimic everything we do in order to model these things in a way that follows our patterns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to make us feel more comfortable.
Yeah. There's so many good ones and ways that we can go here. Let's start here. We were just talking about like a humanoids. Now this isn't real photos and videos. This is obviously like CGI or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe let's check it out. That kind of looks real.
They walk about as fast as I do.
Okay, so I want to talk to you specifically, Kyle, about this because you were saying like trades and stuff that we do. Now think about this. Now this is something different. But what if they change the way that they build? Instead of building a wall on site at the place, what if you build it inside an enclosed environment where they could do the wiring and
everything beforehand, because there wouldn't be the human error to run into each other. They could just, as long as they had everything planned out according to the blueprint, and it was carried out without mistake on any part, absolutely they could re-engineer how they construct anything from the ground up.
Yeah.
They could, yeah.
So you could have robots in these lines building skyscrapers. Right? And doing the 45 connections or screwing in the
literally doing almost all facets of it, including
you would just have to change the way that it's constructed. And then think about, because we have to deal with regulations and ordinances, how far things have to be from things and like that. Well, what if they switch it to where the things that they're capable of doing it in that new construction isn't capable for a human to do? And so those are the laws and now regulations. So you can't build a house the way that we build it.
Yeah, they say this is the code now, and you're incapable of performing the necessary tasks
specifications
for it to be considered up to code. So therefore, you need to hire a company to do it for you properly. An autonomous logistics company to build you, because we can't trust that.
And the insurance is not going to pay.
It's interesting because they, I do fire sprinkler work, and out in California, any additional structure that's created, they have to add that system to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they've already made mandates on whether people can even build structures without having to hire somebody to put a system inside of it, even if it's a small shed that's attached to your house or something like that. It's pretty wild. So they can go very far with this.
Yeah, they totally could. They could change so many industries with a system like this.
Line 1 production is down because somebody forgot to charge the robot.
I think the robots can charge
Frankie
themselves.
was talking about how the robot was moving about as fast as Frankie. But it's not always about how fast you're going. The robot does not need to stop. It's going to not do any wasted stuff.
No 10-minute break.
Right, no breaks. Doesn't have to take any breaks. The only time you gotta do
no lunch break, no 10-minute break every 2 hours.
Just the PMs, But And anybody, when I watch the guys at my work, the ones that try and hustle and get things done quick, they also have a more attitude of damaging something. They run into something, bump into something. Now you have to make repairs. You have to have an investigation of an incident, and that costs money. Something like this, it's efficient. It does, it can go slower if it's making up by not taking all those breaks and all the steps are accurate.
Yeah, no, like, and legitly there is reason for that, right? Like, there's thieves, there's people who show up late that pushes production all the time. There's people who call in sick, right? People who go on vacations. Like, from a business standpoint, I totally understand it, but I know that they're going to use those excuses to push it out even further than it should ever be. In talking about automation, right, like, they don't have to just construct these things brand new to be automated. They can go and take systems that already exist and make them automated.
I find this concept here interesting in light of recent plane crashes.
Yeah. See, medical supply. Pilots depart. Flight computer matrix. Autonomously uncrewed flies over 80 miles, carrying 40 units of real and simulated blood. Flying as low as 200 feet at 100 knots speed, using terrain to mask its signature.
Which is what these things already did.
Yeah.
It's just now they pilot. Fly themselves autonomously. They already had these radar devices and sensors projectiles to know how far it is off the ground. It's
Yep.
That maybe that's what them plane crashes were about.
No, seriously, they could be testing it, turning that on, and saying, "Let's see, can we flip this one over?" Oh yeah.
Let's turn the
maybe that's what all them plane crashes were about.
Yeah.
Human error.
Well,
now they're pushing for AI-driven planes,
Air mobility.
Yeah. Automatic. So there's no human error. You know what I mean? Just a thought.
No one in it. Loading it up. And then flying it from some cockpit.
If it happens to come down on your poor self, then I'm sure the company will write a semi-decent check to your loved ones if you have any.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's go with this one.
Did you get mine?
I did, didn't I?
Urban air mobility is a revolutionary transportation development platform, capable of opening up new horizons for both technical and business innovation. Today, UAM can help vehicle manufacturers achieve the commercial deployment of autonomous air vehicles, opening up new markets and new possibilities. What's driving this autonomy? The world we live in. The blossoming of system infrastructure, sensor fusion, and 5G networks can now allow vehicle manufacturers to transcend earthbound barriers and use UAM systems to take autonomy to the skies. Consider the rise of the electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. For big cities, the solution to gridlock and infrastructure limitations may finally be here. These autonomous vehicles can freely traverse the skies, transporting products and people across busy urban landscapes. A clear case of science fiction turning into science fact. But with air vehicles, the stakes are higher. In fact, everything is elevated. The potential opportunity, the development process, the product life cycle, and in turn, the race to get to market first. In this race, connectivity is everything. Where does this crucial connectivity come from? From RTI Connect's DDS. If your goal is a connectivity framework, one that can help you develop, certify, and launch an autonomous air vehicle. And that's exactly what Connect's DDS delivers. First, Connect's DDS tackles system integration by enabling the rapid insertion of new capabilities and pairing it with the ability to interoperate seamlessly with multiple UAM subsystem suppliers and legacy technology. Next, Connext DDS enables system-wide control and security at all levels of operations to ensure fast, scalable, and reliable connectivity while protecting the integrity of operational data. Finally, Connext DDS puts you on the path to achieving both airworthiness and the highest levels of safety certification, backed up by industry-leading airborne certification evidence. RTI has already helped numerous visionary manufacturers create unmanned air vehicles for the commercial market, so we know just how high the stakes really are, and how satisfying it is to witness a next-level design taking flight in the real world. If you want the competitive advantage offered by rapid time to market, Connext DDS provides the software connectivity framework with the power to take you there. So plug in to the data-centric architecture your UAM system.
Literally so insane, all the things they want to do. What one where you want me to play? The Trump one or?
Let's see. Go back to the Trump one. Yeah, that one's fine, I guess.
How is it that we have Clinton introducing nanotechnology into the life world of American people, followed up by George Bush, then followed up by Obama, then followed up by Trump, and then Biden. And Trump has just renewed it. Why the hell does it matter who's in office if every single one of them are pushing forward the transhumanist agenda? And again, listen, I'm not saying these guys have any choice. they have no choice in it. It's just demystifying all of these politics and all this garbage everyone is so wrapped up in. Let's look at the NNI. Yeah, this is the stuff they're doing, man. This is transhumanism. Applied transhumanism. All optical nanoscale sensors of force. So we're going into photonics, light, and bioelectricity. Cellular and molecular. We're going far beyond a lot of these surface platforms that were being sold here. You got everybody's part of it. Every single one of them, they're all here, man. All the agencies, doesn't matter. They're all here, playing their part. Who is a nothing burger? Why? Trump's who exit nothing burger because of privatization and corporate capture, right? We see this happening with big tech. I don't care if you left the globalist organization about health. You're just giving the American people right to a bunch of smarmy AI transhumanists ready to put stuff in American people. Quantum Initiative, NNI, Gavi, AI deregulation, biometric smart wall, tech border, panopticism. So he's down with all this stuff, guys.
The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
We only need so many robot polishers.
It'll make the United States
Not
a
it.
manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto.
Disease, national security, economic rehab, Doge, MAGA as ploys for full spectrum digital transformation and biodigital convergence. Again, let me repeat that. Whether it be diseases, national security, economic rehab, or making the government more efficient, as well as just the push of making America great again, these are all ploys for full spectrum digital transformation, acceleration. And of course, a requirement therein is biodigital convergence. Biodigital convergence is not just the Canadian project or program. It's the concept of merging biology with digital devices and network systems and creating ecosystems of life. I call it digital civics. This is where all of this is going. From my studies and my research, this is what Trump's preparing. And it's not Trump. He's not doing anything. I'm just keep things simple. This is the direction. Techno-optimism and techno-nationalist AI arms race with China to usher in the 4th to 5th industrial revolution or new golden axial age.
As you said yesterday, this is the beginning of golden age of America. This is one great example, I think. This is the beginning of golden age.
Just the way they keep throwing that out, man, that's big talk, man. It's true, though. This is like what they're trying to do. It's an axial shift. It's a new axial age. Everything from philosophy to economies right? Ontology, epistemology, aesthetics, ethics, all these things are transforming with this new type of paradigm.
We wouldn't have decided unless you won. And yesterday we agreed, we signed to make this happen.
Whilst everyone's freaking out about China or about Israel, all of this is being developed. All of it. Streamlined, speed run, warp speed, acceleration. So I don't care. I don't give a damn who the hell is in office,
ghosts.
man.
So we are very, very excited to do this.
That's what it looks
and
like.
Our partner is, of course, SoftBank, OpenAI, Oracle, and additionally investing partner with MGX. On top of that, we have the technology partner NVIDIA,
NVIDIA,
of course,
Microsoft, everybody.
Very, very supportive. To
Literal
SAP,
technocracy
and
here.
continue to support all our success.
It's table tennis politics. One nation under transhumanism. Singularity has always been the goal. And essentially all of these things, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care if you're talking about metaphysics or physics. I don't care if you're talking about biology or consciousness. They're all under the transhumanist umbrella. They're all different aspects of a transhumanist movement. Changing man's image, destroying the imago Dei, creating the human plus, the post-human entity, the golem, I argue, the Antichrist, and ushering in the mark of the beast via singularity. It's always been the goal. And then I started with this dude. Passed it on to him. Passed it on to him. Who passed it on to him and passed it on to him and back to him. They're all one team, one club, doing what they're supposed to do. They're poor men that have no real power. They're pawns, actors, playing roles, positions, being paid, careers, careermen for something much bigger than all of us. Much bigger. Much bigger than us all.
It was a great clip, brother. Some gravy right there for sure.
Yeah, this one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I dropped 2 of his. So
Do you follow him, Days of Noah,
Oh, yeah.
Kyle?
Absolutely. He's great.
Yeah, I haven't watched him in a while. I get his.
It's hard to because he does long podcasts, but
Yeah, he does real long stuff.
they're good.
We are integrating non-human intelligence into the basic fabric of human activity. This is unfolding rapidly and in connection with...
I'm actually going to wait to play this because this is like next week's.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Actually.
Yeah, I think this is good for next week.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Let's check this out.
Welcome to latest Auto Pro. The future of personal aviation is here. Introducing the new 2020 Firecraft Hexadrone. Hexadrone are revolutionary single-passenger eVTOL aircraft that is set to redefine urban mobility and adventure travel. This ultra-lightweight aircraft is designed for simplicity, safety, and an exhilarating flying experience. Powered by 18 independent electric motors and propellers, the Hexadrone provides unparalleled stability and redundancy, ensuring a smooth and secure flight. With a carbon fiber airframe and an intuitive fly-by-wire control system, it allows eventos with no prior pilot experience to take to the skis effortlessly. One of the standout features of the Hexadrone is its vertical takeoff and landing capability, meaning you can lift and land almost anywhere without the need for a runway. Whether it's a quick city commute ascenic flight over breathtaking landscapes or a new way to explore the world from above, this aircraft brings personal flight closer than ever. With a flight time of approximately 15 to 30 minutes per charge and a top speed. Of around 45 miles per hour, the Hexadrone is designed for short urban and recreational flights. It operates using a simple joystick control system and is assisted by autonomous stabilization technology, making it incredibly user-friendly. Safety is a top priority with multiple redundancies in place, including a ballistic parachute in case of emergencies.
I do see a whole bunch of different like designs and stuff coming out. I feel like the one that they're gonna do that makes the most sense like logistically is that the cabin is separate from the power and like the power center. So like you could, let's say you're going from New York to California, you could go
Drop your
land,
power cell.
drop the power, slide over to a new power cell, and get going.
Right, like where they'll make the actual transfer of energy in different ways, where you can transfer your battery, or you could transfer you could charge
like the
your
cabin.
battery. Yeah,
yeah,
or,
and so
or
instead
an
of
entire cabin.
that's what I'm saying. You just move the
you're
cabin
almost
off the
renting
body.
it.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be rent. I think it will be
or paid for through.
It'll be the government.
Yeah,
like the government will own that, system,
right.
And you'll have a pass. You have to provide your ID to get on them, right? That all jazz.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of like novelty ones that will come up and fall down, depending on their uses and all that jazz.
I think so too.
The aircraft
yeah,
is
here's
also compliant with
down.
FAA Part 103 mobility solution or from this transformation.
I'd like to
Or
see this
exciting
actually
updates on
flying
the
as
taking
opposed to just
landscapes
on the
or a
ground.
new way to explore the world from above this.
Let me say that one.
Flying taxis are going to happen. The question for me at the moment is rather, when is it going to happen?
What?
If
the new normal, the next normal, advanced air mobility.
We will have aircraft that are much smaller than.
So I do also want to state, right? Like I know this is logistics and this is talking about people, but the same goes, right? If you can move people, you can move materials, right?
Today's aircraft, and then we're going to be much more accessible. So they're going to land in your neighborhoods, and you might take a small car ride, or you could take a micromobility scooter ride to get to the vertiport, and you'll kind of go through there just like you do at a taxi stand today, and get on an aircraft that'll take you anywhere within, call it 100, 150 mile radius.
And this all will be one seamless experience. So I imagine it to be fully integrated into my mobility app from the morning, so my e-scooter ride to the office, then the trip to the airport, the flight, and then from the airport into the city, and again the scooter for the last mile, maybe even one integrated ticket. All of these new vehicles are going to be fully electric. They're going to be much cleaner, locally, completely emission-free. Will it replace car ownership? I doubt it. I think it will be very complementary.
Some of the timelines we see are very aggressive, and so I'm not quite as bullish as some of the public statements around how quickly we can ramp up the system. But in the medium to long term, 10 years out, I'm actually quite bullish. I think this is a mode of transportation that will eventually become quite frequently used, and it will be safe, it will be, saving many of us time, it will be sustainable, and so there's a bright future to look forward to.
I would say flying above the street is much safer than driving together with other people on a road.
Technology-wise, we're getting there. I think the big two hurdles we have to overcome is, on the one hand, public acceptance. Right? Are we going to be happy flying in an aircraft without a pilot? If something goes wrong, who do we hold accountable? How do we certify a system as good enough? I mean, those are important questions that a number of working groups are working on, but that'll slow us down in getting to fully autonomous aircraft. And so autonomous passenger flights, I'm less bullish on. I think it'll take us into the next decade before we will see that.
And the evolution that could happen then is, first of all, the pilot is in the vehicle. Then you take the pilot out of the vehicle to the ground, but you have a one-on-one operation, one pilot for one vehicle, but remotely operated. And then over time, this ratio goes down.
Full autonomy, as in the vehicle is doing all the decision making and there is no remote observation and so on. I don't think that this will ever happen. We don't have it today in conventional air mobility, so all the planes are sort of supervised, right? And I think we'll see something similar.
People are ready for flying taxi.
So they're saying this whole like people aren't going to accept it, and I can kind of see that or whatever. But that's why they have these pushes. I want to actually see real quick when this video, 2 years ago, right? So if this same guy was seeing all the air crashes and the plane crashes, would he be saying the same thing, right? Like, are you going to trust the person or are you going to trust the system that never fails, right? And then all the young people, I feel like the young people will totally start using those systems.
They do, just like the Teslas.
Yeah, just like the scooters.
Yeah,
right.
They unlike most older people, they'll put the full faith into these systems, just like they do their phones and all their records and everything else, all their personal information, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
More than 15 to 20% of respondents say they can definitely imagine to change from their current mode of mobility to a flying taxi service in the future. Passengers are spending more than 400 billion US dollars globally for taxi services every year. E-hailing adds another 100 billion US dollars on top of that. And if you now imagine that flying taxis can be able to capture some of this market share and becoming a real alternative to the taxi, the market opportunity is in the range of several billion US dollars.
I'm kind of at the level where I think we're going to see in the tens of billions of dollars in market size globally in the early 2030s. But I could see it scale up much faster if we hit really all these unlocks right.
By 2030, we will still see a sizable number of players out there. 10, 15, maybe even 20 players out there. Why? Because by 2030, the technology is still ramping up, but ultimately I think there's a space probably for 5 or so players globally.
We're
talking about the democratization of helicopter flight and ultimately the democratization of private jets. That's something that many people would not be able to afford if it weren't for these advanced air mobility vehicles, simply because we're talking about the democratization of helicopter flight and we're talking about the democratization of helicopter flight and ultimately the democratization of private jets. That's something that many people would not be able to
Who's like, what's the best source of, I guess that's what they're implying, but like it's a democracy.
I was almost thinking it was saying like the privatization.
That's of course.
I mean, like you owning a vehicle. No, it's we're gonna get away from owning the vehicles and more into it's a public service. Like that's how I took it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's how I would understand it too.
Okay.
Democratization would definitely mean more like you get more people involved on it, and
yeah,
it'd be less of a private thing.
Yeah.
afford if it weren't for these advanced air mobility vehicles, simply because taking a private jet is something that probably less than 1% or much less than 1% of the population will ever even do in their entire lifetime.
It's going to be so important that this is not a toy for the rich, but something that is broadly providing value to people. I mean, there's many people in the world today that can't afford a plane ticket. But if we really get this industry to scale, this could be the same price of a taxi. I'm excited about, the ability to be able to sustain the same price of a taxi. I'm excited about, the ability to be sustainable, inclusive, and see, a ramping up of a brand new industry.
More of an imbalance.
Yeah, no, yeah. Sweet, yeah. So what I was pointing out there, I was muted. But if you look back here, so you got the taxi, and then you got the ones carrying the boxes, the logistics side for more of the delivery stuff.
To scale, this could be the same price of a taxi. I'm excited
about,
the ability to be sustainable, inclusive,
and he was saying, right, like there's going to be a whole bunch of players, there're going to be a whole bunch of companies that are making these drones, these things, and when they finally kind of chisel that down to like 5, right, they'll probably be bought out by Microsoft and bought out by Amazon, etc., from Walmart, right? These big companies will buy these other companies, these technologies, and start employing them for all their different needs.
But of course, we're being sold this line like Elon Musk and Trump will sell us. That's like, it's all going back to the people.
Yeah.
Power to the people kind of thing. And it's, in my opinion, it's all just a hoax to get people more like wanting this technology because they believe it'll give them more autonomy in their own lives, telling them that we'll be a rich country and we'll be like, yeah, sure, that may like actually happen for a time, but it always will,
swing back,
devolve, and the other foot's going to drop, and it's going to turn into, twice, the pit of hell than it was in the first place.
Yeah, and like, dude, there's so many examples. so many people have so many ideas on how this is going to work. And so, of course, they still have years left in developing these technologies, but this is definitely something like they're putting billions, if not trillions of dollars into making this, this stuff work. And all the different ways they could use it, right? They always show what the intentions are always good, right? Like, look how simple it is for us to load something in this box and send it out. Look, it's so easy until that turns into bombs, until that turns into grenades and mortars.
Exactly. Right, until it turns on the people
and
is used against them, or it's used for surveillance.
So we pay all the taxes to get them to build that technology and deploy it, and then they turn it against us. Yeah,
exactly. We're literally...
We think we're building our freedom,
utopia,
and we're building our prison. Yeah.
Of course. Because that story's too good to be true.
Yeah.
We all know it, but everyone just is sold on what I think was well defined as like a transhumanist dream, where people want to like become God by making robots work for them, therefore their creation serves them, and they can live luxuriously without without having to deal with anyone and just be in their own mind as their own gods, I guess.
Maybe they do have a side job, but it's a remote job where they do it from home and they're exploring Mars.
Yeah, sure.
Through their AR, and they're using autonomous,
through the lenses, and they're like, I'm on it right now.
Yeah.
I can hear myself walking.
Oh God. Here's another on AMR systems. Why does it keep doing that? So he just brought him trays, and then he just took those trays from that one and put them over here?
Yeah, that's kind of what I saw too.
I don't know if this...
the person who made this video
didn't think about it. How funny. Yeah, that's cool.
Why was the guy needing to scan that?
Yeah, like that.
Why didn't press the button to make everything go?
Like, he literally took that out from here and put it here, and then this comes and picks it back up. Like, what the hell? That's so dumb. And this is like ProDrive Technologies.
They must not have paid a lot of money
for that.
We picked it up and we put it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The logistics industry is currently undergoing three major shifts: digitalization, electrification, and automation. To experience the full benefit of these shifts, all subsystems need to be integrated. SCALE is a research and innovation project co-funded by the Swedish Energy Agency. Through an autonomous flow, including an electric autonomous forklift and an electric autonomous vehicle, the project helps support resource-efficient supply chains through innovation. The SCALE project, involving 6 partners, is a collaborative effort that aims to design and validate a powerful end-to-end solution to streamline, electrify, and automate the process of loading, unloading, and moving goods.
So when automating processes, it's important to take a holistic approach and look at all the different parts of the system. It's only by doing that that we can achieve the efficiency benefits of automation.
Chalmers University of Technology and the University of Gothenburg are leading the SCALE project, with pilots taking place at SKF facilities in Gothenburg, Sweden.
The project has focused on automating the complete material flow, starting with a automated Toyota forklift, picking up pallets from the staging area, loading them into Einride's electric autonomous vehicle. The Einride vehicle will then move the goods to a second location where the forklift will unload the vehicle. Led by the project partner Maritime, we have also explored different ways of automatically securing the load during transport.
The SCALE project has provided us insights into the benefits and challenges of automated loading and unloading. Now, the industry is one step closer in realizing an end-to-end electric and automated transport solution, one where the interface between the factory, warehouse, and the transport is seamless.
And for that type of seamless interaction between manufacturer, warehouse, and distributor and sales, that means that they have to all be owned by the same thing.
Which we already know most of
Amazon,
them are.
Walmart, the big places have their own, these whole own systems, right?
Yep.
But in order, for a smart city, you can't have a system of Walmart and a system. You can't have all these competing. It has to be one integration of all the systems.
Exactly. Right.
And that's why they always use the seamless, kind of thing. So, all right.
Yep.
We got this last one. I'm just gonna jump through it real quick.
We have been required level of productivity, the availability of the market.
Logistikkette. Hier wird nun im Feldtest.
Field tests are now being conducted under real Outdoor Scan 3 secures the surroundings of the Stoibli WFT vehicle during operation, making sure people are completely and reliably protected in intralogistics factory traffic.
This is like a moving shipping
Constantly
container.
changing conditions such as heat, cold, wind, drive to different stations in production and storage areas fully automatically. The operator can select the next destination using a web user interface.
Unser System fährt voll.
The objects, the size of the vehicle must be scalable. But omnidirectional driving was also very important. Our locations often have a very evolved infrastructure.
So crazy, man.
Which make
now if they put all these technologies together, right? We're gonna have something way crazier, at the end of it. So, yeah, what a crazy, you could go back right to some of the movies where they're in the 2020s, this is what the world's gonna look like, right? And they're so off, right? Whether it be, Back to the Future or whatever, they're so off. But at the same time, we're looking around now, and robots 10 years ago seemed impossible.
Well, it's kind of like what everyone imagines as the original, several industrial revolutions, where no one could think of that being like it is
like a
after
car.
That, when the cars happen, no one can go back to horse and buggy after that, or the airplane and Zeppelin originally before that.
Yeah.
No one can go back to that, but this will just be the same thing, just on a whole different level where you really can't go back.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, they said, right? We can't just do this all at once. At first we'll have a pilot, and then the pilot won't be in the seat, but he'll be remote flying it. And then once they collect enough data, no, we don't even have a pilot. The whole autonomous system, it's learned. This system is 10,000 pilots that have flown 1 billion hours, whatever their numbers are, to kind of make it that sellable thing. But yeah, and it's really right around the corner. And just real quickly, sorry, Frankie, the fact that he was talking about a quantum leap forward in our cities, and then speaking like, hey, he wants to lead America to lead the, air mobility industrial revolution. That's that. He has 4 years. That seems like it has to be pretty quickly happening.
I agree. Yeah.
What were you gonna say there, Frankie B?
If they could put you in a drone plane and then crash that plane, and no one would even know. They don't even have to report it. And the pilot ain't going to die because he's at a remote place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that at first. Just like with planes.
At first, I'm just saying they could get rid of like high-end people that aren't part of their agenda or going against their agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in a drone plane, crash the drone, and then blame it on
hackers in Russia.
Yeah, hackers or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's crazy what the capabilities that are on the horizon. It's crazy the capabilities they have now, and how they're going to start integrating that into our lives. Next week we're talking about AI integration, and so the more of it aspect into our everyday lives. Whereas we're kind of talking about like big picture, micro, running a city, logistics of moving materials and peoples to and fro. We're going to start talking about how they're slowly integrating. I don't know if y'all have looked, but you go to, like, for instance, me.
Go to Google.
Not Google. But even if I go to messages right here, this little button right here,
Right.
I can click it, and it's Google Gemini that is saying, hey, like, I can write your text, I can just say something that you want me to do, and I'll set an appointment and make a reservation. Like, all this crazy stuff that they're trying to now get us to integrate into our lives, to where our schedules are our daily lives, not the micro stuff, but not the macro stuff, but the micro stuff is now going to be managed. They're going to know where you're going, who you're with. It's insane. So let's close this out. I want to say, like, despite all these technologies and weapons that they're forming against us, right? It's like the worst they can do to us is torture us to death. And I say that jokingly because, like, what can they take from us that we're not going to lose at some point anyways, right? Like, we're all going to die. We're all going to meet our maker. And so, like, to me, I don't want to live forever. I don't want to live in their utopia, in their smart cities. And so for me, it's like, good. I don't know. I don't want people to go there because I don't want enemies. But at the same time, it's like, if you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes.
Your glorified body.
Yeah, I want a real glorified body.
Yep.
So sweet. All right. Well, let's give our final thoughts, and we'll call it a stream. Let's start with you, Robert B.
I think in your smartphone, your smart techniques translate from female to male and from male to female language. So we understand each other sometimes. I wouldn't mind having a maid robot clean up around here. But yeah, it's with automation though, it's more and more crazy. I mean, you're waiting on the automated phone system to get to a real human, because you just don't know what the robot's gonna bring you, what's gonna charge and stuff. It's all crazy stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting time. I don't know how quickly it's gonna be around. Like you said, you look at the old movies from the 70s, 80s, and they're all talking about 2000. Wasn't I mean, you got the movie 2001: Space Odyssey, right? So yeah, this is it's coming. All this stuff is coming. It's just it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's going to happen slow and it's going to happen fast.
Yeah, and I think it's like the snowball, right? It kind of starts slow at first, but as it gains momentum, it gets bigger and bigger and faster. I think it's definitely going to snowball where there will be a quantum leap where it will go from no, sky mobility to 5 years from its introduction. It's our everyday life. You don't have the option of driving yourself, right? Like, it's going to get to the point where insurance won't insure you. Like, yeah, maybe if you're a millionaire, billionaire, you can pay your own insurance, but what if they get rid of insurance companies? You know what and you have to be able to insure the full price of yours. Like, there's so many ways they could game the system to make it not work out in our benefit. So, and work out in their benefit of control. So, but regardless, right? Like, greater is he who's in us than who's in the world, and no matter what obstacles they put in our way, we're overcomers. So, awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, Robert. I always, for sure, enjoy being with you and fellowshipping. Let's jump over to Frankie B and see what he has, his final thoughts and goodbyes.
Yeah, I'm sorry to announce
What's
something
that?
happened. Robert's robot, he's no longer with us. There's an investigation going on. We think it was something with the AI. So we'll give you an update on what happened to Robert. I'm just kidding, Robert. No, it's kind of crazy, man. The stuff that they want to do. And I do want to live to 100, but I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'll want to live to 100 if I know what it's going to be like in 60 years.
Exactly right. Who knows?
Yeah, we know it's coming down the pipe, right? They're talking about it. The companies want it. They want cheaper labor. They want more revenue and profits. So that's definitely a way they can achieve it. So why they wouldn't, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Kyle?
I think, Robert, and you nailed it, that there's going to be stepping stones to it, but probably in a short amount of time it will happen like the other industrial revolutions, and it'll just be some huge societal change that almost happens overnight, and everyone's just going to look up and go, what the heck happened? And everyone's just going to have to get used to it. It's probably going to be pretty wild, so I guess everyone should buckle up because it's about to get crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Well, sweet. I enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed it too, whether you watched the live stream with us or whether you're checking us out later. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. That really does help this get past the algorithm and get to other people, those other truth seekers looking for the puzzle pieces of the truth. So we do appreciate any of that type of support. If you'd like to fiscally support, we do have links in the description. You can donate or buy some merch to support the channel. We do have a big kind of push of moving towards like more of a podcast looking thing, and so we're in need of like cameras and lighting and stuff. So if you're interested in supporting that, that would be a way to do it. If not, no worries. God will provide. The Father will provide. But yeah, guys, it was fun. I hope y'all enjoyed. Next week, we're going to be talking again about AI integration in our lives, in our computers, in our phones, in our schools, in our, jobs, and kind of how that will look, kind of how we did for this time. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, remember that ABBA loved you first. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, everyone.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the